so the question is, since a large part of Krishnamacharya's life was devoted to spreading the knowledge of and stimulating the interest in yoga, wouldn't he be pleased at the widespread interest in the world these days in yoga, which largely is traceable to his efforts? Let me tell you my take on it, speaking only for myself, but kind of being able to step back a little bit from what I recognize as my own knee-jerk reactions to things. The knee-jerk reaction, for example, would be yoga, booty, ballet? What? Yoga lattes? What? Doga? Seriously? Broga? Am I missing anything? Come on, what are some of the other, what is it? Voga? Voguing in yoga, okay. Hot naked power yoga, I've seen that. What is it?
Iron yoga. Iron with weights.
Oh, iron yoga. Mm-hmm. Sure. And the list could go on and on and on. Now, does something inside me wince a little bit, maybe more than a little bit, every time I encounter another one of these permutations with the word yoga somehow worked into it, attached to it, or alliterated with it? Yes, that's my knee-jerk reaction. Like, ew, to sum it up. But stepping back from that, which my yoga training has taught me to do, to step back from my knee-jerk reactions to things a little bit and take a broader perspective. As long as at some point in any of these classes with all these wacky names in them, as long as a student who for whatever reason is attracted into that class is being asked to move and breathe their body at the same time and in a way that they have never perhaps thought of doing before. As long as, in other words, they're being asked to bring their mind and their body together through the breath, I think it's a great thing. And I would go further and say I think it's a great thing that the word yoga is attached to all of that. Because as superficial and puerile and just, what other words am I looking for? Inane, awful, thank you. As ridiculous as all of these things may seem, and as wounded as we may feel to have our precious yoga with a capital Y attached to all of this nonsense, in reality, I know that people can have life-altering breakthroughs, even in classes like that. And if that breakthrough was not in some way or other linked to this idea of yoga, then perhaps they wouldn't have access to finding out something that's a little deeper. Because after all, if you enter yoga, okay, as a search term in Google, okay, right? How hard is it to get to, the wiki entry on yoga? It was right there, Wikipedia, yoga. And they're not talking about broga or doga or shmoga or hot naked, whatever yoga here. They're talking about, yoga. And the philosophy and its context and its connection to all the things that folks like us feel are a bit more important. So I think that rather than dragging yoga down into the mud, which is what it seems like is going on with these things, I think these are, mostly sincere, some purely, superficial attempts at elevating something, elevating a sense of what you can do with your body, what you can do with your mind, how you can connect to all of that. And so rather than it dragging yoga down, I think that it has the potential for elevating all of these activities that people are getting into and getting attracted to for whatever reasons. Maybe they want to, maybe they're really attached to their dog and they want to do something with their dog. So what?
Is that what doga is?
Doga, that's what doga is. Oh, you didn't know what doga, you thought it was like making dough with your, and making like, no, doga, whatever. Yeah, so I think it provides a pathway into something deeper for people. I'm the big tent guy. I'm the one who says, yeah, the more the merrier, bring it all on, whatever. But also you have to remember that, if you look at like the whole pie, and let's say this pie is called the yoga industry, wherever the hell that is, all of the energy and money and time that's being expended on doing things that are related to yoga. The slice of the pie that represents the people I end up dealing with is probably about that much of the whole. Now, I don't know if my proportion of the pie has gotten bigger over the years. I just know that the whole pie has gotten so much bigger. And my tiny little slice of it has gotten a whole lot more nourishing. Right? I mean, here we are in a room in Manhattan. This is expensive real estate. This is not a cheap undertaking, what we do here. And we've been able to keep it going for 11 years. So bring it all on. People ask me sometimes what I do when I meet them out in the world that's not the yoga world. And I say, oh, I'm in a growth industry. They go, really? What's that? Stress reduction. That starts an interesting conversation. Sometimes I just say, I teach anatomy to yoga teachers, and that makes them walk away. So there's nowhere to go with that for a lot of people. So, I didn't even know that was a thing. Or they go, oh, I bet they need a lot of anatomy. And I'm like, who doesn't need a lot of anatomy? Don't you need all of your anatomy for everything you do? Anyway, so that's my take on it.